this episode, join Andy and John on their journey home from Battle on the Border in Harrison, Ohio. Welcome to the road home from wrestling.
Here in my car, I feel safest of all. I can lock all my doors, and it's the only way to live in cars.
All right, well, we're headed home from another week at Battle on the Border. My name's Andy, coming to you live to tape from the road home from Wrestling World Mobile Headquarters of the world. And I got John in the front seat ready to do a cold open. Is that right, John?
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of SNL, and you know what? Did you know you can get customs?
Customs? SNL customs?
No, customs of Sour Patch Kids. Like, you can go to SourPatchKids.com, and you can specialize the bags of Sour Patch Kids that you get.
What's that got to do with anything, John?
I don't know. I don't wear underwear.
As we were leaving the show, we heard a woman just yell that. She was talking to two guys outside smoking, and she goes, I don't even wear underwear like that. What? Which was outstanding. So tonight we were at Battle on the Border. It's the second time we've come out to the show. It's at the same venue, the Blue Note in Harrison, this last time. And, we wanted to give another shot. We had nothing going on tonight, so I thought we'd come on out and give them another shot at, trying to see what this place is all about. John, what are your kind of overall thoughts on tonight? What'd you think of the show? And we're going to get into some nitty-gritty details, of course, too. But what do you think?
For the most part, I had an enjoyable time. It was fun. One of the things I like here is that, just like everywhere else, we're really close to the action. So when I start chirping at the wrestlers, they chirp right back. And I enjoy that.
They don't even have to ask who said that. They know. They know. It was you. So, sometimes it was me, but most of the time it was you.
Yeah.
But tonight
What about you?
Oh, I thought it was pretty cool. We had a couple issues, which we'll get into and everything. Crowd loved stuff, and it was fun to see a lot of folks that, some folks I haven't seen before and some folks that we're very familiar with in a different setting, which is always fun. So, anyway, but again, like I said, it was at the Blue Note. It's in like a... by the way, the person in front of us is certainly drunk. They are all over the road, and they almost just drove off the road. That's good times. And they're going 27 in like a 40. Oh, no, it is a 25. Okay, all right, I'm drunk. Yeah. John. That's what's going on.
Well, you're driving a little straighter than they are.
Anyway, so the crowd, the place is pretty full. I'd say there's about 100, 120 people there, something like that. Maybe I'm overestimating that a little bit. I'm not sure. But their rambunctiousness kind of fluctuated, you know what I mean? It's like sometimes they really got up for stuff, but they didn't stay up, It kind of reminds me a little bit of the crowd at the arena where, in Jeffersonville, where it's really hard to get the crowd to kind of, stay up for something. And so that was kind of one of the things that was kind of goofy about the show, but it is what it is. And we'll get into some of the reasons why that might have happened or why it didn't, and part of that's, the crowd. So, anyway, John, you want to set this up? We had a pre-show to start, right?
We did, but as soon as we walked in the door...
Oh, yeah! Man,
we got to meet a WWE legend.
Yeah, Hall of Famer,
Hall of Famer.
I kind of associate Ricky Morton more with, NWA. That's what I associate him with, in WCW and stuff like that from way back in the day. Many-time NWA tag team champion, and everyone knows who Ricky Morton is. John, you did not know who Ricky Morton was. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Rock and Roll Express.
What makes you qualified to even be on this show then, John?
I can tell you everything that's happened since the Attitude Era. That's what qualifies me.
Fair enough. All right. Well, plus you go to the indie shows, that stuff.
Yeah.
So, anyway, but yeah, we walk in, and there's fucking Ricky Morton standing there. First thing we see when we walk in, we're like, hey, what's up, Ricky? And I say hi to him, and he grabbed my hand, shakes my hand, and then he just kind of pulls me away and says, well, let's go over here. And I thought, oh, is Ricky Morton going to work me into buying something? That's what I thought was going to happen. I was like, oh, this is some tricky pulls, right?
He had a secret to tell you.
But John, what happened? What did he say?
He had a secret that he just dropped a big old fart where he was just in, and he didn't want us to get hit with it.
He did. He is that nice of a guy. He was like, yeah, I just farted over there, and I just don't want you to smell it. So we stood there talking to him for a minute, and then eventually we did kind of smell it a little bit. And he was like, sorry about that.
He drop dusted.
So we got to smell Ricky Morton's fart tonight. That's a great way to start a night. You know what I mean? That's a good night. And if anything else, if nothing else happened tonight, that makes it worth it. You know what I mean? That was awesome. So tell us about the pre-show, and we had a different ring tonight, right?
We did. We had a tall boy.
Like a normal ring, yeah.
A normal size ring. And this time, they did do a pre-show, and they didn't start it before the doors opened, like they did last time.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Last time we got there, and the pre-show was going on, and it was like before doors were even supposed to open, and we're like, what the fuck? We're not late. We're like early, but no.
Surprise.
Yeah, so we got there a little earlier than we did last time, just to make sure. But anyway, go ahead, John.
So we had a tag team match. It was Tribunal, which was Paragon, and someone with a matching attire.
Other guy, yeah.
And a manager who, there's initials JT. His arms were so rough that the sleeves busted off of his vest, which made it into a vest. It was a jacket at one point, but not anymore.
He was wearing jeans too. Their valet guy or whatever. But we're familiar with Paragon. We've seen him a couple times, around the different areas that we go. He's pretty good. I'm not familiar with his partner, but we got a little familiar with him tonight. But who were their opponents?
Their opponents were the Hippie Connection. It was Lanny and Lanny.
That's confusing. Yeah, these guys are hippies, and they had some interesting merchandise. Can you describe for folks what this was, John?
Well, so they go to Walgreens and they buy these dollar boxes of Skittles, and then they go and they get dime bags, and then they put the Skittles inside the dime bags and start selling them for $1 at their merch table, saying that they are LSD laced Skittles.
That's what it says. That is hilarious, by the way.
Which I had one, and I guess I must have got the Control Skittle inside this bag.
It was bunk, huh?
Yeah.
Hey man, sometimes you buy acid and it's bunk. That's just what happens, That's never happened to me, because I would never do something like that. But,
you hate to see it.
Yeah, 30 years ago, I would have never done something like that. But anyway, yeah, these guys had themselves a match. It was okay, I don't know that it was something that was super impressive or anything, but I thought it was fine. Any comments or concerns about this one, John?
Not really. I mean, it was a little clunky.
Yeah.
Here and there.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, I think it was a nice, entertaining match to kind of start us out, get our feet wet.
The hippies had an interesting finishing move that was like an arm breaker and like a slam at the same time. It was really strange. It didn't quite come off the way it was supposed to, I don't think either, so it kind of looked weird, but I don't know. It was cool, It was kind of cool.
I think with some more practice, it would look really well.
Yeah, I think it's one of those ones where the guy taking it has to, know a
They're
little
probably
bit
more in control.
Yeah, right, you got it. So, anyway, I thought it was a lot of fun, though, and so the hippies did win, is that right?
The Hippie Connection.
Hippie Connection, excuse me. They're not the hippies, that's somebody else. So.
Lanny and Lenny.
Yeah, Lanny and Lenny win, and they give acid to the whole crowd. And maybe that's why that lady was talking about no underwear later. She was just said all inhibitions were gone, and she was like, I've been drinking, I ate some of them Skittles, and I'm just letting everybody know I don't wear underwear, so, hey, get your shit in, lady,
Well, literally, her jeans now have shit in them.
Do you just shit in your underwear, John? Is that how it works with you?
I mean, no. Well, sometimes if you don't wipe well enough, at least the underwear catches the poo particles.
The poo particles. Okay, we're getting scientific now, huh?
So after that, we had our national anthem.
That's right. Our hearts swelled with blood. They actually had a flag, which was nice,
They had someone singing.
Oh, they did. She was great. She did a great job,
good.
man. And John, you made an observation. You said that it's not a super indie if you have the national anthem. Is that right?
Correct. So I've kind of, after extensive research, I've learned that if you want a super indie show, you do not sing the national anthem or play it. Don't even put an American flag up.
That's pretty funny, and it's it is that way. We go to some of these super indie shows. If you went to what was it, St. Louis Anarchy had a show tonight. If you went to that, they weren't doing the fucking national anthem. They're like super indie. That's so. Anyway, but if you're at a regular indie, that's when you get that national anthem. So more traditional indie, I guess we could say.
Because I even made it. I was a little like, oh, do we gotta do the national anthem? Someone in front of us got really mad.
It's oh great,
what do you mean you don't want to hear the national anthem?
Yeah, what do you?
Sorry, I hear it every single wrestling show.
John, love it or leave it. These colors don't run, okay? God. What happened next?
We got onto our main show, and our opening contest was for the War title.
Okay. Well, first we had Slick Rick welcome us, right? Which Slick Rick was in the house tonight doing the announcing, and that was nice to see him. He wears a 3-piece suit, which is beautiful, right?
He's got the little penguin tail on the back of the suit.
You mean tails? It's just called tails, yeah. He was wearing tails. So, but yeah, so it was for the War title. I'm sorry,
like the wrestling promotion War.
Correct.
It was for their title.
There was a bunch of War wrestlers at the show tonight. And Big Tom was there. He even did some doctoring on the ring, which is fun to watch because he's just walking around. He reminded me of this mechanic that's been working on cars for 1,000 years and just looks at it, listens for a second, taps on it and goes, "All right, here's your problem right here," And that's great.
At one point when he was helping fix the ring, he would be rotate this 4 times and then drop down this one, do 3 counterclockwise turns. Wow, this guy's real thorough.
He's awesome, man. So, yeah, Big Tom was in the house. But, so the War title is getting defended. Who was in this match?
It was Cody Jones with Paloma Star.
Paloma
Star against the War champion, Mojo McQueen.
Yeah, now...
the Voodoo King.
That's right, the Voodoo King, Mojo McQueen. Now, John, he has this incredible gimmick. It's awesome, right? And tell me about this box that he brings out and all the shenanigans that went on with that.
So honestly, I think he probably ranks up there with some of the best entrances in indie wrestling right now. So he comes out, he's got this horned mask on, but he has this box that once he gets to in the eyesight of everyone, he opens it up and there's just this smoke billowing out. And then as he keeps walking, the smoke changes color, and it just continues to get more spooky and smoky, and everyone starts coughing because they're choking on this gas. But it's really cool looking.
It's awesome, man. So he came out, and Cody Jones was a guy that we saw up at War as well, right? So we're familiar with him a little bit. And Paloma Star, of course, is one of the best heels in independent pro wrestling, just for the simple amount of volume that comes out of her. She's she's not a big girl or anything. She's just this little thing, and she is so fucking loud. It is amazing. She gets heat for being loud.
For just talking.
Yes, she is awesome. I love Paloma Star. So this was some good stuff. What, we got any notes on this one?
Yeah. So Mojo shines to start by hitting a black hole slam. Cody targets the knee and works it over for a while. Paloma.
This is your gimmick now, John. Just fucking people's names up right and left.
It's not on purpose, guys. I swear.
Wink, wink.
She gets real loud and it's awesome. At one point, I tell her, shut up. She looks straight at me and she's like, no, I'm gonna get even louder.
She's so loud. It's amazing. And she was also kind of had the giggles a little bit running away from Mojo McQueen, because Mojo McQueen kept kind of, chasing after her, and she'd be like, hee, and run away. It's pretty
she was real scared.
That was great stuff.
Mojo eventually makes a comeback and hits a huge pop-up front slam, and then he hits a spinning flatliner.
Yeah.
To pick up the victory.
It was like he was going to do kind of like the catatonic, where he had the guy and then swings him out, but he did a flatliner and the guy kind of spun another quarter turn as he hit the flatliner. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Big fan of that. Yeah, that was
devastating.
awesome. So he retains the championship, and that's a good way to start off the show because that was a good quality match. You know,
It was.
well,
Our next match was a first-round hardcore title tournament match pitting Sergeant Ledbetter, or Bedwetter, as someone in the crowd
yes,
was chanting,
Bedwetter. That's tremendous.
against William Wolf.
That's right. Now, we saw William Wolf versus Hooks at the last show that we went to in like a bloodbath match, you know, where they almost both died because there was these like metal hooks laying around in the ring and stuff.
Just casually laying underneath tables that they're going through. It's fine.
It's terrifying. And William Wolf has a gimmick that he brings out. What is this, John?
He brings out a weed whacker.
It's an electric weed whacker. That's right. Thank goodness. There used to be a guy his name's Alex Herzog, and he used to be the Chainsaw Viking, and he'd bring a chainsaw out to the ring with him, but it was like a gas powered chainsaw, and it just filled the air with like fumes and shit. You know, it was not good. So I appreciate the fact that he is using an electric one. You know,
He's saving the environment.
that too. Yeah, very environmentally friendly. Not like Mojo McQueen's smoke. That's not very.
No, that stuff lingered for like until intermission.
It did. So these guys are, they're having some kind of hardcore tournament to crown their first hardcore champion. So of course we're going to get William Wolf. But man, this Sergeant Ledbetter guy, he's a piece of shit. Everybody hates him, right? And he is like, I don't have enough heat. I'm going to try to get as much heat as I can. So he starts talking, doesn't he?
Yeah, so he takes 15 minutes to get to the ring, and then he gets on the mic and cuts another 15-minute promo, basically just getting to the point of that he is ripping off Rex Kwon from Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes.
So, hey, Sergeant Ledbetter,
Get your own shit!
It's true. What a piece of crap. And as William Wolf is making his entrance, Warhorse attacks him, and they just literally just keep beating him up and beating him up. And the ref's like, hey, you still got a match. You let him in here.
So Warhorse is Pat the Bruiser and Crosshairs Kelly. They're fucking jerks too. They come out, they beat up William Wolf, and okay. So this is a good example of what I don't like about Battle on the Border. And I'm not trying to be shitty or anything like that. We're going to say all kinds of great things about this place tonight. But one of the things I don't like is that this whole segment, meaning this pre-match thing, the match itself, and then after the match, took way too long. And because it drags at times, the crowd becomes disengaged. And you want to keep the crowd engaged, So after a while, these guys are just beating up William Wolf. They do it forever. I mean, it was like 6 minutes of him beating him up. Like, guys, 2 minutes, maybe. 1 minute. That's all you need,
Come out, beat him up with a couple chair shots,
Yes.
throw him in the ring.
Done, But, we got to do this forever, right? And so Sergeant Ledbetter's like talking shit on the mic the whole time, too, which went on and on and on. And you get to the point where you're starting to get the wrong kind of heat. You know what I mean? Just my opinion. So then we get ourselves a match, right?
We do. It's not a long match.
No, thank goodness.
Because Wolf has been beat up enough that it shouldn't be a long match.
Correct.
So the match finally begins with Wolf at a disadvantage. There was a fun spot where Ledbetter hit a pop-up low blow.
Yeah, that's some good shit right there, man. I'm still waiting for it, John. I haven't seen it yet, but I want to see oh my God, what's it called when you grab the guy and you roll him out with his arm?
Like the
drawstring or something like that. I can't remember. I'll think of it in a minute. But anyway, I want to see that with a low blow too. But the pop-up low blow, that's fucking awesome shit. I love that.
Yeah, wasn't expecting it. Because we thought that Wolf was going to low blow Ledbetter because, Ledbetter was talking to the ref. But, joke's on him.
Yeah.
And then we get our finish where Ledbetter hits a DVD onto a chair and he's able to pick up the victory. And then immediately Warhorse comes back out to start beating up on Wolf again because we didn't get it before. But thankfully, Hooks is in the back. Didn't want to come out before the match to help out Wolf, but he does now. And he chases off Warhorse, and then he cuts a promo about them being family members, being cousins.
Yeah, they had a match at the last one, that we went to, and they were basically, I mean, first of all, Hooks is over, right? I mean, the crowd loves Hooks.
Way over.
So that's like, he's one of the most over guys that we saw tonight. So he comes out, the crowd goes fucking crazy, much more than they were booing Ledbetter, and that's another kind of weird thing, is you want that to be kind of even if at all possible. But anyway, so, he comes out and, he's talking, and some of the stuff he's saying is making sense, but basically he's just trying to say, hey man, I stood up for you, I saved you, because we're like family in this hardcore thing, you know what I mean? Like that's interesting, because if you hang out with deathmatch wrestlers, they are the most brother of the brothers in pro wrestling. Those guys are the nicest guys, and they stand up for each other more than like any other wrestlers will. And it's shocking, because obviously you see them in the ring, they're covered in blood, they're psychos, but man, they're like some of the most normal guys you'll meet, and so I get that. I understand what he's trying to say as far as that goes, but William Wolf, he don't want any part of that, right?
No.
What happened?
He tucks tail, and he goes to the back.
He's like, fuck you, man. He just leaves,
And Hooks is like, hey man, you're my cousin, I'm gonna text you later.
He said you can't avoid cousins.
Yeah, you can't avoid me.
I don't know why he has a redneck voice. He didn't really have a redneck voice.
It's the ponytail. It's a really long ponytail.
He does have a long
Just
ponytail.
makes me think of that.
He looks like a biker dude, that you'd see at a bar.
Oh,
and like,
for sure.
oh, see that at the end of the bar? That's Hooks. You don't want to mess with him. You know what I mean? Like,
He literally will pull out like meat hooks and
Yes.
just like hit you in the cheek,
that's awesome.
drag you behind his back.
So that was fun. It was a cool segment. I got the storytelling and everything. But part of, one of the best things about pro wrestling is when it can be concise, when it can tell a lot of story in a little amount of time. And some promotions are great at that, some are not. It's just kind of the way it is. So, anyway.
It's a matter of tightening things up.
It is, yes. It's a matter of tightening things up. And here's another thing that, and again, I'm not trying to be a shithead or anything, but this is what we do. We review stuff, we talk about what we didn't like, we talk about what we did like. Another thing is that, the announcer is MIA. And what I mean is that, okay, the match has ended, all the wrestlers have left the ring, where's the announcer?
There's no music.
There's no music. Yeah, the music it works sometimes it didn't, which was really weird. And it made entrances extremely awkward. So the crowd can't even pop for people because they don't know when they're coming out, and then when they do, they were looking somewhere else. But anyway, so my point is that another way to tighten stuff up is to have the ring announcer standing there by the ring, ready to get the fuck in there and start talking, right? But no, he wanders around, then he looks at the ring, then he gets in the ring, then he stands there for a minute, then he starts talking. You know what I mean? It's just like, come on, let's go.
And that's another thing that drags the show out.
Yes.
Be tight. Come to the ring. Talk while you're walking to the ring.
Yes.
If you have to.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, I'll shut up about that stuff. It's just that shit bugs the shit out of me. I don't know why.
Our next match is another tag team match. It was the ultimate, the ring announcer welcomes the ultimate wingman, Russell Act a Fool.
Yeah.
Who is out to introduce the marquee players.
That's right.
Prima Donnie and Big Jake going against Paul Axt and Tim Lutz.
That's right.
Thunder and Lightning.
Thunder and Lightning. Get out of here. This was a lot of fun. This match was a lot of fun.
I love this match.
This match was great. Now, here's a couple reasons why I love this match, all right? First of all, we got some story stuff that happened within the context of the match without any talking, I love that, all right? And then the other thing is this Prima Donnie guy is awesome, man.
Yeah, he's real good.
He was great. And, one of my favorite things, when I see a wrestler for the first time or something like that, or second time or whatever it is, and I'm seeing what they're doing when they're taking moves. That's what I'm watching. You know what I mean? I'm watching what, like in sports, I always make this allegory. It's like, watch the guys who don't have the ball. The guys who don't have the ball, those are the guys you want to watch. And when they're fucking, crushing it when they don't even have the ball, that's when you got a great player, And so Prima Donnie, when he was taking moves, he was getting up huge. He was bumping hard. I mean, he really worked hard tonight. That was fucking great.
His facial expressions were always very, expressive, for lack of a better term. He was on it. He was hitting on all cylinders tonight. And so this is my second time seeing him. The first time I didn't do an episode on the show, but one of the most memorable matches of that night was Prima Donnie versus Paul Axe.
You saw him at Ascend Pro Wrestling,
Yes,
right?
at Ascend, and they put on a really good, fun, entertaining match. I guess they used to be tag team partners there, and they was kind of like their feud post tag team.
Okay.
It was a heck of a match those two had.
Well, okay, so Big Jake's a guy we're familiar with. He's actually been on this show before, years ago. And when he used to wrestle at NWF, and Russell Act the Fool is a great fucking valet. He came out and announced them, and he is an asshole. You know, he is a complete asshole who dresses like an asshole, who acts like an asshole. If you look at him, you go, that guy's a fucking asshole, and that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing, man. Big Jake thinks he's super sexy. He's not. That's the gimmick, you know what I mean? It's awesome. I love it. It's tremendous. He got kicked in the face by Haley James later on in the night during the Battle Royal, and we were like, oh man, poor guy.
Everyone got turned stick in the face.
He did. Poor guy. Anyway, we love him too. Now, Paul Axe is kind of like a bodybuilder type of dude, right? He looks like
fireman, I believe.
Okay. And then his partner, Tim Lutz, looks like maybe a little older of a guy, you know, maybe,
Yes.
you know, not as built, but a very similar kind of look to him, you know?
I believe he is the promoter of Ascend Wrestling.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I've heard his name before. Like, I feel like he's been around a while, so, and I should know who he is, but I'm an idiot and I don't know stuff, so. But yeah, tell me about this match, John. This is great, right?
Yeah, so the main story of this match was the tension between Paul and Tim. So for a good portion of the match, Tim was getting the heat, and as he would go to do a tag out, Paul would start noticing that his knee was hurting a little bit. So he would call the referee over and he'd say, "Ref, my knee's a little tweaked, I think." And while he has the ref distracted checking out his knee, Tim's getting the shit kicked out of him over in the other corner,
trying to reach for the tag. That's great.
So this whole match is basically a story of is Paul turning into Paulie? Paulie Axe? Because that's total douchebag move.
Yeah.
To go from Paul to Paul.
Well, I just figure if he turns heel, he should be Paulie, and he should be like a Jersey Shore guy or something like that. That'd be great.
He's a total Jim, not so much tan, definitely laundry.
Yeah, definitely.
So Tim gets beat down for most of the match. Prima Donnie is pretty damn good. Tim tries to tag out, but Paul decides he's thirsty. He drops off the apron and goes over to the bar and legitimately orders a beer, starts drinking it. And the marquee players are eventually able to pick up the victory because Brett's, I think that's Big
Jake?
Yeah, Big Jake. He goes to the top rope and hits a little frog splash.
Well, it was Brett's rope. It wasn't the top rope.
Yeah, it's okay. The middle rope.
Mm-hmm.
And he hits a frog splash on Tim Lutz and picks up the victory.
He squashed him. That's awesome.
Literally.
That was great. And and Paul is drinking his beer, and he walks over and just kind of picks up Tim Lutz and carries him in the back. It's like,
Whatever, we'll get him next time.
That was great, That's perfect. Obviously, next we're going to have a match between these two, right? It's good stuff.
I think they do one more match of them fanning out the heel turn.
Okay.
But it's coming.
Well, Tim Lutz is an idiot if he tags with them again. So.
We'll give him one more shot.
Man. That's what I always say, though. Good will always lose because good is dumb.
For sure.
Yeah, so that's for Spaceballs. Anyway, all right, what happened next, John?
Your favorite part of the show?
Single intermission. That's definitely not my favorite part, but you always say that. Like I care. You just want me to.
I think that's my
Your
me
cue.
volleying up for you to spike that single intermission.
Okay, all right. So bump set spike.
Yeah.
That was your set, and I'm spiking it by saying single intermission. Anyway, well, that's what we call intermission, and it was fun. We got to talk to some people. I saw Amazing Maria was in the house. We saw Reverend Ronnie, who was there as well. Let's see, Austin Mannix was in the house. We saw all kinds of people. Did you talk to anybody, John?
I did, and I sat there and just kept drinking my beers.
You're
Had a long week at work.
I understand.
So I just wanted to drink.
I understand. And, you know, I mean, it's almost like you're the Paul Axt of this team here. You know? I was
like
out
I'm
there.
carrying it?
Well, no.
Oh.
I'm carrying it and you're drinking beer. You know, while I'm out shaking the hands and everything and, like, trying to, like, you know, say hi to people, you're just sitting there drinking beer.
And then when you get beat up, I will carry you out.
Okay.
If we have to.
Well, anyway, so that's
All the popo are here.
yeah, you know, I bet you one of them's that one that was parked there earlier. I'm not going to talk about that, but anyway, yeah, we just pulled into the Kroger parking lot where we meet to come up to these shows, and there's cops all over the place, and we're in a very nice part of town, so that's weird.
Oh, they're going to Panera now.
Yeah, they're going over there to get some coffee. All right, where are we at? Yeah, so we're at Single Intermission. Anything else happen here? I feel like I'm missing something.
No, I mean, everybody just wanted to say hi to us, and, you know.
I met Denham Blevins. Robin Nelson was in the house. Didn't get a chance to talk to Big Tom because he was looking at the ring there, you know, with an expert eye, which was fucking great. But anyway, all right, well, let's sing intermission. After that,
We had another tag team match. This time, it was a women's tag team match.
That's right. And we had seen this set up at the last show that we went to at Battle on the Border. It's almost like we haven't missed anything, you know what I mean? It kind of all is the same from last time, pretty much.
Which is good.
Yeah, you know.
For us.
Yeah, it's good for us. So we had, who was in this match?
It was Ari Alexander and Charlie Cruel with her mask that has a name.
It's Frank, I think. I think it's Frank.
That sounds right. Taking on the Sisters of Darkness, the Daughters of Darkness. Haley Shadows and Shauna Reed.
I didn't even recognize Shauna Reed. She
has a totally different look.
Yeah, it's weird. All she did was just change her hair color. She looks completely different. You know, like whoa, where you know, I didn't even recognize her. You know,
I for real did not recognize her because she was like bleach blonde last time we saw her.
She's the Battle on the Border Women's Champion as well, right? So we had this kind of like tag team grudge match because there was a match between, was it Charlie and Ari last time, or Ari and somebody? I can't remember, but people got interrupted, and you know there was some goofiness going on there, and these ladies wanted to have a match with each other, so here we are. What'd you think, John?
It was a decent tag team match.
Yeah.
Nothing too out of the ordinary.
I thought it started out really great, you know, with some great, like, what was it? I think it was Shauna Reed and Ari Alexander at first. And, you know, they did some great mat wrestling and stuff like that that was pretty cool. You know, we had Charlie Cool kind of tagging in and out with Ari Alexander because eventually they started getting heat on Haley Shadows. I haven't seen Haley Shadows that much, but I just feel like I hear her name all the time, you know? Like, maybe she was on a girl fight show I was on or something, or I was at or something like that. I can't remember. I feel like I've seen her around quite a bit. Maybe she just has a good social media presence or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I thought she had a really good look. She had her face kind of half painted. It was a really good paint job.
Looks cool, right?
Yeah, and her ring gear looks really nice.
Yeah. You know, all four of these women had awesome ring gear and great looks, you know, as far as that goes. But what kind of happened here? You got any?
There's not too many notes
okay.
on it.
All right.
Eventually,
Paloma. Good Lord.
It's a funny name to me.
We fucked it up. So we went to war once, right?
Yeah.
And we fucked it up, and we even had Aaron Williams in the car, and he kept fucking it up too. And I'm like, Aaron, why? You're here to correct us on this stuff. Come on. I feel terrible. But it's Paloma Star. So we get ourselves a match. You know, these ladies are working hard. They're busting their ass. They're having a good match. Crowd's into it. And here comes Paloma Star talking shit, right?
You could hear her, like, before you could see her.
You can hear her. Here goes Paloma, and then she walks out.
She's like a train. Like a train you can hear, like, a good distance away. You can hear Star, like, a good distance away.
Pretty awesome.
Like it's like her voice travels at like the speed of sound, so like you hear, or speed of light, because you.
Let's move on, John.
Oh, I'm trying to. Yeah, too many sound jokes.
Okay. So
anyway, Star comes out and starts interrupting and starts chirping with Shauna Reed, and she pulls her down off the ring apron, and Shauna slaps her.
A good one too.
Yeah, and then Paloma. I had to look at the word and read it, sound it out.
That's how reading works. Yeah.
Yeah. Paloma then starts fighting back with Shauna, all with the ref watching, and so he immediately calls for a disqualification. But there's a little confusion because Ari had Haley pinned.
Yeah, she had her pinned. That's true.
She was ready to steal the victory, but the distracted tag team partner, and the ref's like, no.
Yeah, maybe finish got messed up here. We're not sure, but either way, Paloma, caused the DQ, and she's having a title match with Shauna Reed, I think, tomorrow. So,
yes.
So that's the story stuff that we got going on there. What happened next?
We had Holly Hood, Haley James, come out to the ring to let us all know that she has her eyes on a new top prize in a form of a wrestler that she wants to manage. And who's that wrestler?
Shane Mercer, the Iron Demon. Yes, so Shane Mercer comes out. Now, Holly Hood, Haley James, is tremendous, all right? She's Maria's daughter, Amazing Maria's daughter. And she is just I describe her as if the Catch You Outside girl was a wrestler. That's what she's like. Yeah, I mean, she is just fucking, it's awesome. I love it. So nobody else is doing this gimmick. And John, you had a great idea.
She essentially would be a great female wrestler to insert into Young, Dumb, and Broke.
Yeah, she's basically like the female Young, Dumb, and Broke,
So annoying
It's
on the
awesome.
mic.
It's awesome. I love it.
She knows how to get under your skin in her promos and just be super annoying.
Dude.
You're just dude, shut up.
She's great. So, anyway, she also looks like she reminds me of a cat. You know how a cat, if you I don't know, you look at a cat and you go, I could take this thing, but if you try to fight a cat, it will fuck you up in the, in the process. That's how I feel like Haley James would be. You try to fight her, she's going to beat the shit out of you while you might win, but she's going to fucking scratch your eyes out,
Yeah, there's been so many times back when I used to have a cat growing up where I would be playing with him and then he would just all of a sudden just scratch the shit out of my arm and I'm bleeding and he just runs off whatever.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
Yeah, you shouldn't have dropped 3 pieces of food on the ground 6 weeks ago. Remember that, asshole? That's what cats are they hold a grudge. They're dicks.
They definitely do.
Anyway, well, so she comes out, she talks, introduces Shane Mercer, so the Iron Demon comes out. And then who was the Iron Demon's opponent, John?
Austin Mannix.
That's right, Cutthroat Austin Mannix, the measuring stick of violence. And if you would like to hear an interview with Austin Mannix, just go back about 2 episodes, I think, in the Road Home from Wrestling feed, and you'll see, or go to our Facebook page and find it there. Great interview with Austin Mannix. He's a good dude, and wish him, all the success in the world and all that stuff. And, man, this match did not go the way I thought it was going to go, first of all, result-wise, but it was really good. And this was an example of, I don't know what is going on with this crowd. Because, so the crowd didn't give a shit about any of this until basically what happened was that Shane Mercer set Austin Mannix down in a chair, and then Shane Mercer just dove from the ring, into the chair and, just destroyed him,
He ran around the
that's what
entire
it was,
thing.
yes. Yeah, he went around the world and just destroyed him. And then the crowd was like, yeah! And then they were silent.
And then they got back on.
Why? This match was awesome, and they just didn't. The normal shit that gets a crowd up doesn't work at Battle on the Border. I don't get it. It's weird.
I think one of the things is they love their homegrown talent there. They're all about supporting them, and so for me, one of the things I like about Battle of the Border is that they bring in some of these more bigger indie guys from around the Midwest,
like Ricky Morton.
Yeah. Yeah, like Ricky Morton. They bring in guys like Aaron Williams and Congo Kong and Shane Mercer and Austin Mannix. And these aren't guys that you typically see very often around this area. And so it's one of those few times where you can see them, in the greater Cincinnati area.
Well, to be fair, we see Aaron Williams all the time in the greater Cincinnati area, but Congo Kong and Mercer, that's not someone we see around. So,
No.
and Austin Mannix, we don't see him in Cincinnati either. So, so that's a good thing. And obviously we were in the extreme west side of Cincinnati tonight, but, it's still kind of Cincinnati. But anyway, what else happened in this match? This is good stuff.
Yeah, so they kind of brawl back and forth to begin, and they're doing like heavy hits on each other. Mercer dives to the crowd, which gets everyone super stoked. Mercer does Mercer things. At one point, he's like gorilla pressing Mannix, and he's like literally doing like shoulder presses while watching himself in the mirror, like outside of the ring, because there's like these 3 mirrors that are on one side. And so Shane's literally just watching himself work out, getting off on his own self.
Austin Mannix is humongous too.
Yeah,
so
he's not a little guy.
No, I was really surprised that Shane Mercer was still doing all of his like normal shit to Austin Mannix. Because I mean, I've seen Shane Mercer versus giant dudes before, and sometimes he doesn't quite do all of his regular stuff. So. Wow, he was military pressing him. Yes, unbelievable. So that was awesome. What else happened here?
At one point, Haley distracts the ref. She does this a couple times. She chokes out Mannix on the bottom rope. And then when Mannix is going for the pin, she gets on the ropes and distracts the ref, so he stops counting. Real smart.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's what she did.
At one point, Shane uses her as a shield to stop Austin from, taking him out.
You liked that, didn't you?
I did. That's good heel stuff right there.
That's good stuff.
And then eventually, she gets on the apron and kind of causes a distraction enough that Shane is able to, kind of crotch Mannix on the top rope. And then he sets him up for, honestly, one of my favorite finishing moves in independent wrestling. In just professional wrestling.
That's amazing.
The moonsault and battery, which is so fucking phenomenal. If you've never seen it in person or even seen it on a video, I'm going to post it because I recorded it, and you're going to hear me and Andy go, oh my god!
It's amazing every time. I've probably seen it 50 times, if not more. And it's still awesome every time, man. I love it. It's such a crazy move. It's a fucking moonsault, world's strongest slam. That's what it is. It's crazy.
It's
so
completely bonkers.
Yeah, so especially doing it to a gigantic dude. I mean, like I said, Austin Mannix, not a small dude. He got some great shit in too tonight. This was a great match. I was really happy to see both guys, and this was one of my favorite parts of the night. So
yeah,
that was great. What happened after that?
After that, we had some stalling by the ring announcer because they had to fix the ring a little bit. So they eventually...
What, is this where the mic broke too? At one point the mic broke.
No, that was during the hardcore tournament
and
match.
we couldn't move on. We just had to stop and wait.
So
like, just fucking talk.
Just project your voice.
Anyway.
So to delay, they they were going to do the 50-50 draffle, and then thankfully Amazing Maria's there. She comes out and just is like, shut up, dude, give me the mic. Starts kind of promo, puts over her daughter, puts over herself. Puts over her daughter's faction now, which they had a team name, didn't they?
Yeah, it was the James Mercer gang. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So, by the way, Maria is the most hated woman in professional wrestling, is kind of her gimmick, right? And she used to be billed with, it'd be like, on her way to the ring, coming from the scene of her latest crime. It's amazing, which I think is one of the greatest places to ever be billed from, is the scene of your latest crime. I love Maria. She's awesome.
And then, she talked shit to the crowd, and,
And she drew the raffle winner, right?
Yeah, she claimed that she didn't want to pick any of those dirty numbers, so she made the ring announcer get the country crock.
Yeah, it was a country crock container. Which, we had a brief conversation about how, I think butter is like 1,000 times superior to country crock. What do you really think about that, John?
I grew up on country crock. I think I still buy country crock. That's hard to say real quick. So I'm down with it.
You're down with it? Okay, all right. Well, I don't like it, I just don't like it. Butter's just way better, man. Why not just go with the butter? Makes everything better.
I guess because I'm used to. I don't want to get out of my comfort zone.
I don't like it. Anyway, well, so next we have this Battle Royal Rumble. What is it now? We're not sure.
Well, they kind of built it as a battle royal, and the next thing you know, it was a Royal Rumble that people were entering every 90 seconds.
It's the Golden Ticket Battle Royal. And and again, this is a comment on all independent pro wrestling, not Battle on the Border necessarily specifically, but we need to get more creative names for our Money in the Bank thing, I know of at least 3 promotions that call it the Golden Ticket. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, let's call it something else. There's got to be a way to call it something else, right?
I would think so.
Yeah, you call it anything you want, I'm just saying, you can come up with some better ideas than the Golden Ticket.
Your rocket to the top.
Your country crock.
Well, your rocket to the top because you're going to go and you're going to be a bastard and you're going to steal the championship.
Well, and you're going to get a rocket strapped to you, right?
Yeah,
who knows?
Straight to the top.
So, there's a million different things you could call it. I just wish that it wasn't the Golden Ticket. But anyway. So normally what we do with this kind of thing is we get the order of everyone coming out, and then we get the order that everyone was eliminated. However, we got to the point where there were almost 19, I think, people in the ring at once.
It's a lot of people.
With 0 eliminations had happened. So I was thinking, well, we're going to get like 1 million at once, and I'm not going to be able to keep up with this. So basically, I just kept track of everyone that came in, and then we got down to like the final 3, I think. So Tell me who came in to the ring, and some of these names I did not get, so I just described the person.
So we have Andrew Stryker.
Yeah, Andrew Stryker. They said he was 2nd generation, and I'm like, is that Matt Stryker's kid and not the Matt Stryker you're thinking of?
School teacher.
Unibrow Matt Stryker from HWA. I'm pretty sure that's who it is. That's crazy.
I don't know. I just know he kept adjusting himself.
One time I was at Les Thatcher's house, right? Mm-hmm. And he had this, old people have a list of numbers by their phone, He had this, list of numbers, and I was peeking at it because there's all kinds of crazy names on it. The number 1 name was Matt Stryker. And I was like, and it's with a Y, So I was like, oh, shit, that's Unibrow Stryker. So,
that's his boy.
Anyway, who else is in this?
Then we had Prima Donnie.
Fuck yeah.
Ricky Morton.
Ricky Morton coming out 3rd, yeah.
Then we had Big Jake. Oh, you didn't get hyped for
I love Big Jake, yeah.
Okay.
He was awesome in this Battle Royal, man. He did a lot of just sitting in the corner and just getting beat up, which is what you need to do when you're a big guy like that,
Right, you just take the beating. Then we had Haley James.
That's right. She was awesome in this, too. She was hiding and shit, and she was beating people up and then teaming up with the other girls. And I don't know.
Directing traffic.
I liked it. I thought she was pretty great.
Actually, you know who was really directing traffic?
Ricky Morton.
Ricky Morton.
Yeah, Ricky Morton was in charge of this battle royal thing.
You do this over there.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you come over here, and then you stay right there, but then he's gonna come over here.
We had a couple times during this thing where 5 or 6 guys were in the ring just staring at each other, going, what do we do? And Ricky Morton, saved the day, you know what I mean? By walking over to all of them and just talking to them,
Then we had Lanny. Lanny or Lenny, one of them.
Of the Hippie Connection, that's right.
Then we had Paragon.
That's right.
Paloma
Star, yeah. And Paragon, by the way, didn't get in the ring for most of the match. He didn't get in the ring till the very end and got immediately eliminated. But
and if he did, he would just get in and then just roll straight back out.
Yeah. Paloma Star came out with a bottle of sriracha, and one fan was right here, and she squirted it in his mouth, and she was threatening people with the sriracha. It was pretty funny. Yeah. She got the giggles a lot during this. She was having a good old time,
sure. Then we had Crosshairs Kelly.
Boo.
Amos.
Yay.
Hooks.
The crowd was fucking insane for Hooks, man.
This little kid with his Ultimate Tractor shirt on lost his shit.
Hey, man, they love Hooks.
They love the violence, I guess. Then we had some masked guy. He was very skinny.
Yeah, skinny masked guy, number 1.
He was tall, skinny masked guy.
Tall, skinny masked guy.
Then we had Lenny of the Hippie Connection. Then Pat the Bruiser.
Boo.
Scarecrow.
Yeah, this is the guy with makeup on.
Oh yeah, Charlie Cruel came out in between.
Oh, Charlie Cruel as well. Okay.
Turbo, who was short, skinny, masked guy. Then we had Paxton Calloway.
Yeah, he's gigantic. I got to meet him
He's
tonight.
huge.
He's a big dude. I asked him during intermission, I was like, hey, you going to throw a bunch of people out in this battle royal? And he's like, yeah. It's like, cool.
And
That's what he did, right?
That's exactly what started. He got in the ring and just eliminated probably 8 to 9 people.
He eliminated a bunch of them and then, like, gorilla pressed one of the skinny masked dudes over the top rope into all the people that were on the outside.
Yeah, it was awesome.
This began, like, the first half of this battle royal thing was awesome, you know? It was a lot of fun. Ricky Morton's running around in there beating people up and shit, you know?
At one point, you looked at me and you're like, never in my wildest dream did I think that I was going to see Ricky Morton directing Maisie Maria's daughter to beat up Big Jake.
That's what was going on in this match. It was crazy. So that was a lot of fun. What else we got?
Then we had a bald guy in a singlet.
He came out with another dude that was like the...
He's like an African guy who I thought it was Super Oprah's alter ego.
They're not... What? Super Oprah has an alter ego?
Yeah.
Oh.
Spoiler alert.
I didn't know that. We had seen this African-looking gentleman, you know, that had these, like, kind of face... On his face, he has these white handprints on it, right?
Yes.
And we thought it was him that we had seen at War, but no, it was like a different guy that had the same gimmick, so...
Yeah, it's hard to keep up. Then we had Khalil?
Wow.
No, he had the giggles last time we saw him.
Oh, right, yes, he was a taller dude. I remember that guy, okay.
Yeah, and then we had a bunch of eliminations, and then we had a bunch of just standing around looking at each other. For like a solid 5 to 6 minutes, we're just staring at each other like, who should we get out? Should we slowly eliminate that guy over here? Oh, let's get him out after we stand here and breathe on each other. Then let's go over here.
So how these kinds of matches work is that no one knows the order of... You don't memorize the order of elimination. What you know is you know the person before you when they go out, right? So, you know, if you're Ricky Morton and the person before you that's going to go out is Haley James, then when she goes out, the announcer says it, and that's your signal to start your shit to get yourself tossed out, right? Yeah. So somebody forgot something, I think. You know, I think somebody forgot when they were supposed to go out, because that's when this thing kind of started to drag, and it was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It was like that was what was going on. I don't know.
We eventually got down to our final 3, which you almost called the final 2, like pretty early on in the match. But you got...
I was wrong. I was close, but I was wrong.
The final 3 were Ricky Morton, Amos, and Big Jake.
I thought it was going to be Big Jake and Ricky Morton to end, you know, but we did get some story stuff from Big Jake during this battle royal, him just yelling at the crowd stuff, and he kept saying, I hate Scotty Amos, like that. And I was like, okay, all right, you got something going. But earlier in the night, he had talked shit to Ricky Morton on his way out, like after they had won their match, he said, hey, old man, I'm going to throw you out during that battle royal or whatever. So I was like, oh man, they got some shit going on, right? So, I mean, Jake's trying to make something of this. He's trying to make a story here. He knows what he's doing. He's working, brother.
And he held up his end of the bargain as he eliminates Ricky from this match. And so then Amos and Jake kind of battled back and forth for a little bit until Jake the momentum got the best of him. And as he was running towards Amos ducked down, pulled the top rope down a little bit, and Jake just went tumbling over and eliminated himself.
Low bridge, man. Gets you every time. So, unfortunately, Big Jake loses, and Scotty Amos is getting a title shot whenever he wants.
For any title.
Yep. That's right. So we need a heel champion for him to go after, you know?
Yeah. Or he becomes the heel. Dun, dun, dun.
All right, awesome.
That's typically, and honestly, the golden ticket is the most heelish shit in wrestling.
Yeah, Money in the Bank, whatever it is, you know, it is this opportunity to fuck somebody over at any time that you want. That is some heel shit, no doubt about it, you know. Yeah. But we got to face with it. We'll see what happens, you know. Or maybe we won't. I don't know. But I'm sure that kind of thing's going to happen tomorrow night, or we'll see what happens if there's a title change. I know that tomorrow night, Battle on the Border is having another show in Aurora, Indiana, which is pretty cool, you know. So that's the hometown of listener of the show, Travis Bruce. So shout out to Travis. He invited us out to the show, and I was like, awesome, yeah, well, we're coming that Friday. He's like, oh, well, that's not the one that I want. I'm like, oh, shit, sorry. Well, we're going anyway. So anyway, Travis rules. So thank you, Travis, for inviting us out. He got us out to a show, and we had a good time. So that was the Battle Royal Rumble Golden Ticket thingy.
And everyone thought that was the main event.
They
so
did. What happened here, John?
half the crowd got up and said, "See you later."
Maybe more than half the crowd. Literally, I mean, well, first of all, the woman with no underwear, she left because she was standing outside smoking when we left, right? So, and everybody else, I mean, I swear to God, that Slick Rick finally gets on the mic and he's like, just letting everybody know, we still got another match. The main event's coming up. It's the title match. And like a few people were like, oh, and like went back and sat down, you know? But mostly,
most of the, like, no, we're
a
gone.
bunch of people left.
Because at this point, it was now a 3-hour show.
Yes.
And it was after 10 o'clock. And then they're like, oh, hey, by the way, we got a main event coming up still.
And this is what clues you into the fact that maybe nobody stuck to their times, maybe things went way too long, because now we're behind and the crowd's tired and they're expecting the show to be over, but no, it isn't, you know? So these are the kind of like little tiny things that are just kind of like, you know, you hate to see it. And it's frustrating because the main event was fucking great, and a lot of people didn't see it because they left, you know?
Yes.
So, which is on them, but at the same time, it's like, they felt that the show was over. So are they wrong? Or is, you know, I don't know. You know what I mean? To me, the fans, fans can be wrong, of course, but at the same time, you know, the idea is you're trying to get certain reactions from the fans, and when you don't get that, that's kind of on you, right? You know? So, anyway, so the fans didn't know, so they left, but then we finally had our main event, and Congo Kong gets announced by Rick, and there's no music, and he doesn't come out, and like a minute goes by, and then he comes out.
Like, finally, I guess I'll just come out.
He's your champion. Screwing up the entrances like that really just kind of sets the tone for, you know, not getting those crowd reactions that you want. You know what I mean? It's just my opinion, but I love Congo Kong. I think he's a tremendous wrestler. He's one of my favorite guys to see. And, like, you know, he didn't get a good entrance. He's the champion. Oh.
I mean, it wasn't just him. It was
like half. Yeah, it was most of the people tonight didn't.
And it was like either the music volume was really loud, there was none at all, or it was way too loud. And I'm like, oh my god.
We also had something weird going on tonight where the band Green Jello, which is Little Pig, let me in. Not boy, that's for my skinny chin. It's a really weird, like, novelty song that was a huge hit in the 90s. They used to be called Green Jello, but they got sued, so they're called Green Jelly now. And they were next door playing like a rock concert, and so we were hearing that a lot too. So we were like, oh, is that the entrance music? No, it's like this muffled stuff coming over the speakers. I don't know, something weird. Anyway, who was challenging for the Battle on the Border heavyweight title?
It was the Suplex Shogun, Jackson Stone.
That's right. Now, we've seen Jackson Stone a couple times as well before, at Battle on the Border and at War. He's great. These two guys fucking put on a hell of a match, man. You know? What'd you think, John?
I thought it was really good. Two big guys. You don't necessarily... It always depends on what kind of... You're not certain what kind of match you're going to get out of two large guys. And I thought they gave a really good performance. They both did some pretty, like, agile things that you don't expect big guys to do.
Yeah.
Like Congo Kong hit a Hurricane Rana.
Yeah, he did. Poor Jackson Stone. But yeah, the Jackson Stone tried to powerbomb him, and he's like, I'm Billy Kidman, you can't powerbomb me. You know, so he did the Hurricane Rana out of it, which is awesome. My favorite part of this match was the opening, when they just start running the ropes, and like fucking... You know, I was like, keep going, but then he, you know, Kong threw Jackson Stone to the outside because they were doing drop downs and fucking, you know, stuff like that, and I was like, oh man, I love this kind of stuff when big guys do it, but it's okay. you know, I don't think we saw the Universal spot one time tonight, you know, which is sad. I want to see the Universal spot in like every other match, if not every match, and that's, you know, shoot a guy into the ropes, drop down, leapfrog tackle, you know, that kind of stuff. So, you know, and if you want to go with the lucha spot, I'll see that too, you know, where we're doing flips and stuff and that. I'd love to see that. But, you know, Jackson Stone, I had predicted that he would suplex Congo Kong one time, but he did two. He did a German suplex, and then he did a Saito suplex. So that was awesome. I thought that was going to be like the big high spots of the match, and it kind of was. Kong does the fucking cannonball in the corner, you know. He does this crazy thing where he shoots the guy in the ropes and then just appears and, like, fucking knocks him out, you know, like, ah! That was great, you know. But who ended up winning, John?
Congo Kong ended up pulling out the victory with...
a crucifix pin. Yeah. So Jackson Stone put him up on his shoulders like in the fireman's carry, and Congo Kong like turns that into a fucking crucifix pin and gets the win. Awesome finish. That is a junior heavyweight finish right there. Those guys killed it. Loved it.
Yeah.
What'd you think, John?
The show overall?
Yeah. We're wrapping it up. This is the cold close.
This like sore throat I have attacking me right now.
Okay.
I don't know. There were highs and lows for the entire show. I mean, the lows, I don't know what was going on with the technical issues. I don't know why some people had entrances and some people didn't. I don't know why the ring announcer didn't just get in the ring and start talking. And if the mic wasn't working, use your projecting voice. If you have had any theater experience, you know to just project louder. Even if you're like having a meeting at work, there's no mic. Just talk louder. The crowd will shut up and listen to you. And if they don't, sorry about your damn luck. You missed out.
James Storm.
But I thought there was some pretty good wrestling. It was nice, you know, seeing the guy that I'm not super familiar with in Prima Donnie. I thought he got some really good shit in throughout the night in his two different matches. And as always, it's great seeing Shane Mercer just beat the shit out of people.
Dude. Yeah, I can't believe he was throwing around Austin Mannix like he was. That was unbelievable.
And Hollywood Haley James.
She was great.
She was great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to seeing more from her.
Yeah, yeah.
And just being annoyed. I can't wait to start booing her as loud as I possibly can here soon.
You know what your favorite thing is, John? When you boo somebody and then they remember you next time. That's one of your favorite things. You know, You're like, oh, I remember you booing the shit out of me. Or, you know, if they remember you for another reason, you know, whatever it is. So, well, she probably won't forget us next time, you know. But anyway, I thought it was a lot of fun. You know, I've already discussed the things that I thought were a problem and the things that I thought were great. You know, I think it's a fucking crime that, like, half the crowd left for this main event. Oh, my God. How can you do that? That's disrespectful. But it also kind of tells you that, you know, I think a lot of people went too long. And that's, you know, it felt like the show should have been over after the Battle Royal thingy. But anyway, Battle on the Border draws a good crowd. They clearly have a great following, and they're pulling in some great talent and stuff like that. So we hope they do the best that they can and continue to entertain the fans of the west side of Cincinnati, you know?
Yep.
All right. Well, anything else, John?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, you can follow us at the Road Home FW on Twitter. You can follow John at JHat05. You can follow me at Drucifer Tweets. And you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and all that shit, too. Thank you so much for listening.
Sayonara.